let's see what this pop quiz turned out to look like here. We're being asked to divide using synthetic division, so we should end up with a -1 inside the box. My coefficients are going to be 1, -1, -5, -3. Okay, so we're seeing if it's a factor or not. So I pull down a 1. I got a -1 here, -2. I got a 2, -3. And the -3 times -1 is 3, so I end up getting a 0. So the answer should be f of x, which is x to the third minus x squared minus 5x minus 3, is equal to this thing, which is now x squared minus 2x minus 3, times the original factor, which was x plus 1, plus the remainder. So there's nothing, so that's it. This should be your answer, but let's not forget, what is the answer really? The answer is yes. Raise your hands if you got that. You got yes. AJ, yeah? Right on, dude. Okay. Let's see here. Let's move back up. So we've got a 2 here. Okay, for this you had to use your P over Q. Now, because Q is equal to 1, it's just going to be P over Q. So, plus or minus 1, plus or minus 2, plus or minus 4, plus or minus 5, plus or minus 10, plus or minus 20. Raise your hands if you got those as your P over Qs. Awesome. 1, -4, 1, 16, -20. What am I hoping for as my remainder? I want 0. Let me see here. Let's try 2. Did 2 work? Oh, it did. Okay, cool. So 1, and then we go 2, -2, -4, -3, -6, 10, 20. Cool. Once I decide that 2 works, I say x equals 2. And now I try it again because now these are all x to the third, right? X to the third, x squared. Did 2 work again? -2, right? That's what I thought. Nice, so now I want another 0, so it should be 1, -2, -4, 8, 5, -10. Good, so -2 should work. So now that I have this down to x squared minus 4x plus 5 equals 0, does this thing factor? It does not. So what I need to do is I need to use completing the square. No, it looks like it does. It doesn't. -1 and -5 would give you -6. So, nope, does not. X squared minus 4x. So the box here and the box here. What goes inside the box is a -2, so x minus 2 squared equals, so this is a -2 squared, so that's 4. So this should be -1. So x equals, oops, sorry. X minus 2 equals plus or minus I. So you should have ended up with 2 plus or minus I. Ayush. You guys need to, okay. Alright guys, a lot of people are asking this. If you end up with 2 plus or minus I rad 1, there's nothing wrong with that because the square root of 1 is 1, and that's I times 1 is 1. But just to get things more clean, you want to know what you're doing. It's acceptable, but just don't put it in there because you don't need it. See, to me, a person who writes the square root of 1 right there and leaves it in there is kind of someone who's just kind of going through the motions and is kind of on autopilot. You know, they're not really paying attention to what they're doing. So you'll get it right, but it's kind of like you're just doing too much. You know what I mean? You're basically using bleach to wash your dishes when you really don't need to. Hand soap will be fine. Oh, no, I'm sorry, dishwashing soap will be fine. Borna. Again, I already answered that, so, you know, you should know the answer by now. Okay, so let's take care of some of these problems from the packet. 17. I'm going to pull this packet up. Okay. Given the points on the parabola, find the equation of the parabola. Okay, the vertex. Okay. Okay. So from here, actually I don't even know why I did that. Okay, so let me see here. This one's kind of an odd problem. I would draw a picture of it first. The vertex is at -2 and 5. Oh, -5. So it's here. Another point on the curve is going to be 1, 1, 2, 3. So it does that. So does it make sense that the other side is going to do this? Does it make sense that that is the parabola you're looking at? Okay. So what we need to find out is this point here. This point here is, the elevation is going to be the same as the other point. It's going to be 3. But because the distance from 2 to 1, or from -2 to 1, that distance is 3, you're going to go back 3 also. So that's going to be -2 to -5. So your points are 1, 3. Let's see here. -2, -5. Okay, so from here, I'll just set the problem up, and then, because solving this thing, we're not going to have enough time. So your points are -5, 3, 1, 3, and -2, -5. So what you do now is you set this thing up like your 3 by 3 system. So it'll be 3 equals A -5 squared plus B -5 plus C. It's going to be 3 equals, looks like A times 1 squared plus B times 1 plus C. And then -5 is equal to A times -2 squared plus B times -2 plus C. So your equations should look like this. 3 equals 25A minus 5B plus C. 3 equals A plus B plus C. And then -5 should equal 4A minus 2B plus C. And from here you have to just solve the system for A, B, and C and then plug them back in. Okay? I'm trying to think if there was a faster way you could do that. I think there is. Okay. Anyway. 18 is the same thing. So 17 and 18 are the same problem, so I'll skip 18. 42. Okay, write the equation for the parabola. Awesome. Let's see here. Given the coordinates for the focus and the equation of the directrix. So the focus is going to be 2, 5. So let's just get that down. That's the focus. And then the directrix is y equals -3. Okay. First thing you want to do, draw a picture. You want to be like Tim Westwood. You want to draw a picture. 2, 5 is the focus. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 2, 5 is here. Y equals -3. Okay, what's the only way this thing can open up? Has to open up upwards, right? Okay, so now, does it make sense that the vertex is going to be somewhere in the middle of these two? It's going to be in the direct center. So if this is 2, 5, I can draw this point here and say this is 2, -3. So let's find the midpoint of this. So the vertex is going to be the midpoint. It's going to be, let's see, 2 plus 2 over 2. Yeah, A plus, okay, cool. And then comma, looks like 5 plus -3 over 2. So your vertex is going to be 2, 1. So 2 comma 1 is going to be right here. It's going to open up upwards like that. So now you know that your parabola is going to be y equals a x minus 2 squared plus 1. How do I find a? How do I find a? Carter? C equals 1 over 4a. Now, C is the tricky part. If the vertex is 2, 1 and the focus is 2, 5, what is this distance right here? 4. So, 4, if I just erase this real quick, 4 is equal to 1 over 4a. Right? Because 4 is equal to C. So now we just cross multiply. 16a equals 1, so a equals 1 over 16. So your final problem is going to be y equals 1 over 16 x minus 2 squared plus 1. That's 42, 65. Okay, given a function, one of its zeros. Find all the remaining roots. Good. Good problem. What do we need to include? It gave us 2i. What else is missing from all this? Pauline, what's missing? Negative 2i. So we need to FOIL this thing out to get our polynomial, which will multiply. So x minus 2i times x plus 2i. This becomes x squared minus 4i squared, which is x squared plus 4. So I use x squared plus 4, and I'm going to say plus 0x plus 4 to multiply into this big thing. X to the third minus 3x squared plus 4x minus 12. So let's multiply this in. I get x, and then x to the third plus 0x squared plus 4x, negative, negative, negative. Oh wow, that's kind of odd. So I get negative 3x squared plus 0x minus 12. This is going to go in negative 3 times. So I get negative 3x squared plus 0x minus 12. What do you know? They all cancel each other out. So what's the remaining 0? 3. X equals 3. Okay, cool. Oops, whoa, we don't want to do that.